As you know by now, People magazine reports that Ben Affleck has dumped Jennifer Lopez. And they were scheduled to get married apparently on Sunday. Of course, we love it just because we've been rooting for Ben to dump that bitch. And now it looks like that may have happened. Yeah. What's interesting about this, among other things, is that a story from AP reports that Jennifer Lopez was devastated and in tears. Those are the quotes. And this happened who knows when it happened. But here they were about to get married, and all the press was showing up in Santa Barbara. The tabloids and all the tabloid TV shows had all booked every hotel room from Montecito up to Goleta, every one of them, in hopes of catching a glimpse of this wedding and transmitting reports back to New York in most cases. Of course, New York is the center of the universe. Just ask any New Yorker, they'll tell you. But in any case, while we have all been watching this like the lurid spectacle that it is, or could have been, the fact is that out here in the real world with real people, not the kind you read about in People magazine, but the kind of people who live in your neighborhood or in your circle of friends, this kind of thing happens in the real world. Either you are preparing to marry somebody and suddenly, the way it appears with Ben Affleck, you say, what am I doing? The hell am I doing? Or maybe you are the victim. Maybe you are preparing to get married. You and your family plan the wedding, catering hall, the band, the cake, the wedding dress, what the bridesmaids are going to wear, everything. And then you got dumped at the last possible minute. Whether you are the dumper or the dumpee, have you dumped someone at the last minute the way it appears that Ben Affleck has? Have you been dumped at the last minute? I not only want to hear about the dumping, I want to hear what the reasons were. I want to understand what goes through somebody's head when they cancel at the last minute or when they get dumped at the last minute. What's going through your mind? What are the reasons? Are you the dumper or the dumpee? Have you ever been dumped just before a wedding? Have you ever dumped somebody just before a wedding? I've got to know.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I banged my girlfriend in the A, and she was passed out drunk.
That's terrible. You didn't get any enjoyment out of this, did you?
Oh, me? Oh, heavens no. Of course, I didn't take any pictures of that either.
It's the Tom Leykis Show on 100.7.
Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Have you ever dumped someone at the last minute before a wedding or been dumped at the last minute? I love Ben Affleck dumping Jennifer Lopez. Let's say hello to Caesar on the Tom Leykis Show.
How is the number one talk show host in America?
I'm doing just great, Caesar.
I talked to you a little bit about this like 4 or 5 months ago because we never lived together after she left. She showed up 3.5 hours late to the wedding and 4 hours after that.
So you had a wedding at a church?
No, at my parents' house.
At your parents' house, and was it catered? Were there other preparations?
It was catered. My dad did everything. It was his child's first wedding that he actually got to attend, so he did everything. It was at their place, DJ, food, cake. Everything was all set to go, and he took care of it all.
And so when she showed up, what was her excuse?
Well, I knew her excuse was she was having cold feet throughout the day, and she actually went to work that day. And when we were supposed to get married, she was still at work.
So did she have an explanation?
Well, her baloney excuse was she had gone to the mall that morning to pick up some new shoes because her shoes that she got for her dress didn't look right. And then when she got there, her boss wanted her to work to cover somebody's shift. She couldn't say no. But later I found out that she just never asked for the day off.
She never asked for the day off?
Nope.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
Holy cow. And so did you get... And now here's the thing. You say you were dumped. So when she was late for the wedding, was the wedding canceled by you before she got there?
No, when she did show up, we rushed to the altar. We just got married 4 hours after that. We're at home. She says, you know what, I can't do this. Take me back to my sister's house. I can't do this.
Oh, my God.
For me, I think it would have been better if she'd not shown up.
Wow. That's outrageous.
Oh, yeah. And she did a number on me. We spent a whole year after that trying to salvage something that wasn't salvageable.
Wow. Unbelievable. So how did you feel about this at the time?
At the time, every time everyone kept coming up to me and asking me, are you sure she's going to show up? Are you sure she's going to show up? And I'm like, yeah, she's going to be here. She's going to be here. You know, I had to literally lie to everyone in the audience.
So you didn't believe she was really coming?
I was hoping. I just did not want, this was my third marriage, and I did not want this to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept lying to everybody, saying that, well, she's having trouble with the dress. That's the reason why she's a little late. I just kept making excuse after excuse until finally she did show up. And we just rushed it. Literally, when she arrived, within 10 minutes of her arriving, we were saying our I do's.
Now, did she expect you to continue seeing her?
Oh, yeah. And
she did. She thought you two still had a relationship at this point.
Yes.
So how did that come up? Tell me what that conversation was like.
Well, it was basically once I took her back that evening, the whole honeymoon was scratched. I mean, my plane tickets, I couldn't use them. Mm-hmm. And she just said that she just needed more time, that she loved me, she cared about me, and me being the idiot that I was, I listened to it. I saw her eyes, and it just made me melt, and I just like, you know what? I believe you. And then she kept saying that every time there was trouble, I'm like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. It's over. She would just look at me and say, and these were her exact words. This is what that bitch's exact words were to me. Mm-hmm. I'd always look at her. She'd look at me and she'd say, Caesar, you know I have problems, but if you break this up right now, Caesar, you're losing the best thing that ever happened to you. that would be it. I'll say, you know what? I'm not giving you a fair chance. I'll give you another chance. She would say that every time I would want to break up with her. I'd want to end it. I would want to file an annulment. She would look at me and she'd say those exact words, and I'm like, you're right. You know what? I'm not giving you a fair chance. Those exact words. I'm losing the best thing that ever happened to me. That's what she said to me.
So why in the world, did you ask her this question, why in the world you would want to stay with her after she did that to you, after she humiliated you in front of your friends and family? Why?
Because I didn't want another marriage to fail. That was my goal, is not to have another failed marriage.
Uh-huh. So why'd she agree to marry you in the first place?
You know, I don't know.
You didn't ask her that question?
I didn't ask her that question. She just said that she loved me and she wanted to make it work. She wanted to be a family. That's all she kept repeating to me, that she loved me and she has problems and she's working on her problems. But, of course, every time I would schedule her with a therapist or a counselor, she would miss the appointment.
Let me tell you something, Caesar, something I've learned from years of relationships and marriages, 4 of them. Let me tell you something. And I just told this to someone else the other day who was here in the studio with me. When you go to the counselor or the therapist, it's what I call last exit before toll.
Pardon?
I call it last exit before toll. Ever driving like let's say you're in the Bay Area and you're coming down south on the 101 towards the Golden Gate Bridge. And there's an exit right before you get out of Marin County.
Right.
You get onto the Golden Gate Bridge. It says last exit before toll. When you go to the therapist, that's your last act before you're going to, the marriage is going to, the relationship's going to break up.
Oh, I agree.
So, I mean, if you have to go to a counselor or a therapist, 99 times out of 100, it seems to me.
Oh, I agree.
You're ultimately going to break up, and then you're going to feel better about saying, well, we tried everything. You know, we went to counseling. But the reality is, it was never going to work.
True, I agree. Now I agree. After a long, painful recovery period, I totally agree with you. And I know a lot of the mistakes that I've made was trying to continue something and trying to rescue her and salvage something that wasn't.
You can't rescue or salvage anybody. They are what they are. That's it. Done.
That's right. I totally agree.
All right. Caesar, I'm glad you've recovered.
I feel great. I am a completely different person now.
Hang on a second, though, because Matt wanted to say something to you. Matt, what do you want to say to Caesar?
Hey, dude, you're a pussy. 3 marriages and you're paying for the bill and your daddy's serving her up at your house. Why are you letting a woman do this to you?
That was then. This is now.
Yeah, but 3 marriages. Come on, get over it.
That was then. I'm a different person now. I agree. I was, but I'm no longer that person.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. I mean, she stands you up at your house. You should have shut the door right there.
I should have. I agree, but I didn't.
Do you have kids?
No children.
Well, that's good. I just want to say, man, just don't do it again, please. Listen to Tom.
Believe you me, I have a really good support system behind me. I am never going to repeat this mistake again.
Thank goodness. That's all I wanted to say, man.
All right, Matt. All right, Caesar, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Patty.
My fiance called our wedding off 28 days before, which doesn't sound like a dump, but let me tell you how bad it was. Any woman listener, I'm sure you have at least 2, right?
Oh, I've got more than 2. 35% of our audience is female, so.
Exactly. But any woman knows, and actually men too, all the deposits, everything's non-refundable by them, the women, the dresses, he had the guest list, his parents' guest list in his briefcase. And we're supposed to send the invitations out a month before, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not getting this guest list. I'm not getting this guest list. I'm getting this feeling of death, right? Uh-huh. We had a rocky relationship. He actually proposed to me when we're already separated. So I should have been smarter, but I wasn't. Anyway, 4:30 in the morning, he's like, I'm like, where's the guest list? And I think we should postpone. No, I said it. Girls out there, don't ever say it. I said, do you think we should postpone the wedding? Because basically I try to travel down 2-way streets, and I could tell there was like something not good about this. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I said it, he was like crying, and he said, oh, yeah, I really think we should. I'm just, there's too much stress. It was all business. He had just signed a really huge business deal. Make a long story short, I'm living there, and his mom comes over a week later and says, has he set another date? And I said, no. And she said, well, I know my son. If he hasn't set a date, he's not going to marry you. So I moved out. And, he 6 months later, he's like forever, always trying to get me back. And he said, if you had moved out, we'd be married. And kind of maybe asking your opinion as a man. To me, I didn't move in to live with him. I moved in to get married. And I thought when she said, his own mother said, he's not going to marry you, I just bolted.
Really?
Well, what am I going to do?
So who dumped who?
8 years later. Well, to me, he dumped me because he, quote, unquote, postponed the wedding. But you and I both know it wasn't a postponement. It was I don't know. You tell me, you're a man.
Well, put it this way. Why you tell me he didn't dump you? He didn't have the guts to dump you? Why didn't he just say it's why would he postpone it?
That's what I'm saying.
Why not just dump you?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I said the word postpone, and he said, yeah, let's postpone it really fast. Uh-huh. So to me, I think...
It sounds to me like you're still not sure. Even though you're telling me this, you don't really know if he would have married you.
Well, yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. Cause
Maybe he would have.
He says if I hadn't moved out, we would have been married. But to me, it just wasn't my fairy tale was over. You know, women need fairy tales. It's terrible.
But
it sucks.
that sucks because you know what? There are no fairy tales. By the way,
no.
Think back on this guy. This was Prince Charming, dear. Remember, you were a kid and you dreamed about meeting Prince Charming? There he was.
Prince Charming didn't choke. He choked.
That was Prince Charming.
Oh, you monkey. Hey, listen, I have a better story, though. My first marriage, I was married just for 7 months, and I had married Mr. Wrong. He was not my Prince Charming. The reason I'm bringing this up is for your other callers, because I had, Tom, the hardest thing I did was to leave after I had just had 250 people at my wedding that were still saying, hey, how's the bride, how's the newlywed? It's humiliating. I knew I'd made a mistake. It was massive. I got out, I tried counseling, I tried everything. I won't bore you with it, but the reason I'm bringing it up is I had more men, not women, but men came up to me. I was in the restaurant business, and I was a bartender, and they came up to me, and they said, Patty, I knew on my wedding day, I knew on my honeymoon, I knew the day before, and I didn't have the guts to stop it or to do what you just did.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so interesting to me to hear that many people, good people, not flakes or jerks, people that were all in happy relationships now, but that had those doubts. And like you said to your earlier caller, those doubts were right. But they were so committed to the formality of the wedding that they didn't know what to do.
Wow. Patty, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Do we have a quick one here, Dean, or should we wait? Line 3. Dennis. Real quick, Dennis.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Dennis.
Hey, Tom. Nice to talk to you, man. I've waited to talk to you for years. I dumped that bitch 2 days before my wedding.
Why?
Well, she wanted a budget. I told her she's got $5,000 to spend. And 2 days to my wedding, I went in my account. I was going to go buy some booze for my buddies because, for the bachelor party.
Yeah.
I found out she had used $12,000.
$12,000 and lied to you about it. Well, you did the right thing dumping her ass, for Christ's sake. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Have you been a dumper or a dumpee?
The Tom Leykis Show.
5:30 on 100.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. Have you ever dumped someone right before the wedding? Have you ever been dumped? David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how are you doing?
All right, Dave.
First-time caller.
Thank you.
I'm a dumper, basically. Dated this girl, fresh out of a marriage, picked her up. She had a 1-year-old son.
Fine.
Started dating her, basically opened my life up to her, gave her money. She basically milked her parents while we were dating, and I didn't see that at the time that right there was a problem because, I was helping her.
And you were not a listener at that time, I would bet.
Yeah, I wasn't. But she was a hot girl, and my ex-wife was not sexually where I wanted to be, and I left my first wife and got in with this girl and opened up everything I had. She had a 1-year-old son. I took care of him. I babysitted while she went out.
Had you been a listener, you never would have done that.
Yep. Basically, she took me for 2 credit cards, ran them up as hard as she could, basically bought new furniture for the house, so on and so forth. Still did not see it. Basically, we were 6 months away from getting married, and I went and checked my bank account I was basically going to pay my parents for money that I owed them, and realized that I had no money, and I got paid 2 days prior to that.
There we go.
So, yeah, I dumped her ass. And
did you have a wedding plan and everything?
Yeah, we had 6 months away. Her mom was all happy about it. My mom and dad knew about it, and I told my parents. I told my mom prior to breaking up with her what happened, and Mom's like, David, you can't keep going on like this. She will take you for everything you got. And her excuse for it is, I didn't realize that I'd spent that much.
Right. Of course, had you been a listener, you would know not to have a joint account with somebody like that.
That's why I'm a first-time caller and a long-time listener. I just got turned on to your show about 6 months ago, and I've been listening religiously for 6 months.
So you've learned a lot here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Well, David, thank you.
I just want to tell people, watch out for ladies, man. They take you guys, and if you can dump them right after, do it, because they're going to take you when you get married.
No doubt about it, David. Thank you. It's Ann on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, I love you.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so I met this guy when I was 16, did the whole high school relationship. 7 years later, and a kid, of course, out of wedlock. I know, Tom, bad. Anyways, we get married, big wedding, $15,000, $20,000 wedding, have our honeymoon. He's got his cell phone on him the whole time during the honeymoon. I'm like, what's up with that? Just hang up your phone, put it away, who cares? So as soon as we get home from the honeymoon, I go to work. We were running late. So I go to work. 10 minutes later, the phone bill, when I got the phone bill to pay the next month, phone calls started coming to a particular female down here. And pretty much I caught him talking to a girl who was just a friend, of course, and we all know what that means.
Friend whose vagina you've seen up close.
Right, and you know what? She came to the wedding, no doubt.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful? She was a guest at the wedding. Yeah, and you know what? This chick was fat and ugly. I don't get it. She was fat and ugly.
Well, fat chicks love to eat, as we all know.
But so do I, Tom. I love giving oral. I'm like the best. I love sex. I love everything. I take care of my man, and he did this, and we have a child. So
why did you do that?
Why did I do what?
Have a child without being married. Why?
Well,
it was stupid, wasn't it?
Absolutely. But we didn't.
You thought it was a brilliant idea.
Well, we did. We decided not to get married when we found out that we were pregnant because we didn't want to be together because of our child. So our son was. This just happened last year. That we had gotten married and split up. But
by the way, we weren't pregnant. You were.
Well, I was pregnant, correct.
Yeah.
But he was like all involved, and he's a great dad. There's nothing I can complain about that. But I've been waiting for this topic because a month after he threw me and our son out and made us move out, and he was such a jerk about the whole thing. He wants me back. I can make it better. It was a mistake. I threw my whole life away. Come back to me. I can make it better. And, so I don't know what quite to do about that. It's been a year now. And I'm calling the professor, and I want to know, should I believe him, or is it just going to happen to me again?
There. Why would you ever believe somebody after something like that happens? Why? Why?
Well, he says he's learned his lesson, and I met somebody as soon as I left. I met this really great guy, and we've been dating for a year now.
All right, so if you're with a great guy, why would you screw that up? To go with somebody you know you can't trust?
Well, we're not in a relationship. It's one of those dating kind
you're
of
a booty call.
Oh, well, we both are, but it's great. But I don't know, for my son's sake and for our sake, if we should try again and make it work for, or if I should just
let me tell you something. That would be 17 years with somebody you don't trust, hoping he wouldn't do it to you again.
It broke my heart, that's for sure.
Well,
and I'm still paying for the wedding loan. Does that suck?
Well, who was it who really wanted to get married, you or him?
Oh, me.
Mm-hmm.
But, when he proposed to me, he said, let's grow old together and let's have our family the right way. Mm-hmm. I fell for it. Mm-hmm. And I thought he wanted it too. And then a week later...
When you got pregnant, who wanted to go ahead and have the baby?
Well, we had gotten pregnant before.
No, we hadn't. You had.
Okay, I got pregnant before, and it wasn't the right time, so I did not have a baby.
Right.
And then I got pregnant again.
And you said, I'm never having another abortion.
No, I did not say that.
What did you say?
we decided to have the baby and raise it.
You both decided that together, or
yes,
you decided that and you talked him into it?
No, together.
Together.
That's the truth, I swear.
All right. Okay.
So now I'm a single mother out there in the world,
Yep.
and it really it's interesting.
And you don't like it.
So I would him back together, and maybe, but I
Why? The guy... Why would you like to be back with a guy you don't trust? Why?
Well, I'm not, but...
Why would you like that? You just said you would like that.
If he was going to be honest and true and...
Oh, please, dear. You already know what he's like. You already know.
Yeah.
You know.
So I shouldn't believe all the BS, pardon the expression.
Why would you? Because you want to.
No, because if I did, I'd be back with him already, and I'm not.
Yeah, but the point is, you're calling me and asking me. What is there to ask?
I just want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. I'm not going to screw up my...
He got naked with a fat, ugly chick when you were going to be marrying him.
And so when I'm cute, I'm blonde, I've got green eyes, I'm totally cute. The only thing she had maybe was money. I don't know. I don't know what her deal was.
Well, God knows what she does in bed that you don't. And you're going to say you'll do anything he wants, but I'm telling you, guys have reasons for doing that. Maybe they're lousy reasons, but they have reasons.
Well, then, the whole, I had cold feet, I'm sorry. And I'm like, yeah, you're sorry now.
Oh, well, dear, again, trust to me is everything. I'll tell you what, I've been married 4 times. And my attitude now about marriage is this. There's no other reason to marry somebody unless, A, you're going to have an intimate, monogamous relationship with them, and B, you trust them.
Uh-huh.
If those 2 things aren't present, there's no reason to get married. None.
Well, they were present as far as
They're not present in 2003.
Right.
I don't care when they were present. You were wrong to trust him in 2002.
Uh-huh.
The fact that it was present in 2002 is irrelevant. You were then proven wrong, weren't you? So, therefore, it's someone you do not trust and have no reason to trust. You're lonely, and you're guilty because you have a child together, but not because you love him or because you trust him.
Right.
What more do you need than that?
You're right. Like always.
All right. So
it's just,
let him come over and visit his child once in a while and move on.
Right.
That's it.
Well, I have with this guy, but...
What?
I said, well, I have moved on. I am dating somebody else.
Yeah, but you're all ready to dump that and get back with the father of your child. I mean, that's what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
You're not even aware that this is how you feel. Right?
Well, I won't dump this guy because I haven't yet.
You haven't yet?
Well, I don't think... as long as he wants me, it's this relationship. I'm doing everything for this guy, and it's really great. We trust each other. It's really great.
Yeah, it's so great. You're thinking about going back with your ex who was dishonest with you and dumped you. That's how great it is.
Well, I just want to make sure that guys don't change, right? Is that what you're telling me? I can never, ever trust him again?
It doesn't matter. Listen, you just told me 2 contradictory things. For example, you wouldn't dare tell the man you're dating now that you're thinking about going back with your ex. You wouldn't dare. That's why you're calling me, because you wouldn't dare tell that guy that you were thinking about this.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Already, there's a hole in your intimacy with the guy you're with now. You keep telling me it's so great. And if it was so great, why do you keep talking about this guy who stiffed you?
Because of the attachment with the kid, which isn't the right reason.
It's the wrong reason. This is you we're talking about, not the kid.
Right.
My opinion is that it is wrong to be with somebody for the kids. It is right to be with them for you. And by the way, even though you think you're doing something for the kids, I have talked to countless adults who grew up in homes where the parents stayed together for the kids, and the kids say 99% of the time, I wish they'd gotten a divorce. If you think kids are stupid and can't see the tension and the other things that exist, the other unspoken stuff, you're wrong. Give your kid some credit. Your kid's not stupid.
Yeah, he knows.
Well, then why would you do that?
Oh, I don't know.
You think your kid is stupid?
No, my son, when his dad comes to pick him up, he says, Mom, do you still love Dad? You guys should hold hands and be back together. And I tell my son, no, we left the house for a reason. Your dad didn't want to be in a relationship and a family. You have your family now, which is me, and you have your family, which is him.
Right, so after you've told your son that, now you're going to tell him, oh, no, that wasn't true? Come on.
Okay. Can you blow me up, Tom?
Before I do, Katie, what did you want to say to Ann here?
I just wanted to tell you that I got married for all the wrong reasons. I was pregnant, and I'd been out of college, and I had 2 children with this guy. I accidentally got pregnant the second time. We split up, separated for an entire year. He got his act together, wasn't drinking, wasn't using drugs. He had cheated on me before. Got back together with him, and he was a model citizen for like 2 years. We had another baby, and after that child was like a year and a half old, he went off, and he had to take a job out of town, started cheating on me again, took off. No child support, nothing. 3 kids.
Wow.
Don't believe him. Once a dog, always a dog. Moved on, met a really nice guy. Great guy, doesn't lie about anything. You need to do that. If you don't want to go with the good-looking, suave, debonair, he's going to tell you anything he wants to. My ex calls and tries to do that whole thing, and he knows now. I said you leave, you take off, we're done. You don't. Once a cheater, always a cheater. They have a roving eye. And if he fooled you one time, he's going to fool you again. Mine cheated 3 times on me. And I found out after that he was hitting on our next-door neighbor, the neighbor across the street, and they're all talking about how cute I was and what a wonderful person I was. And he was cheating. He was hitting on my sister. He was terrible.
What, Katie, what more do you need to tell Ann, for God's sake?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I got a question for you, man. My girlfriend found my porn collection, and she's kind of mad at me. She thinks that masturbation's just like cheating.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
At 18, masturbation is not only a birthright, it's a necessity.
The Tom Leykis Show.
On 100.7, The Buzz of Seattle.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Have you been the dumper just before a wedding or the dumpee? It's Tom on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom? And I do care.
Doing great.
Hey, I'm the dumper. Not even 2 months to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I went over to my girlfriend's house, fiance's house, to surprise her with a trip to Catalina. Got over there real early in the morning and found her sleeping with some guy.
No.
Yeah, and then I started calling her names and everything, and grabbing my and taking it out of her house, and the guy's telling me that's no way to talk to a lady, and I'm like, lady my ass, she's here effing you, and, she's supposed to be marrying me in less than 2 months.
Uh-huh. And did they have an excuse for that or an explanation?
Oh, no, I didn't even wait for one. I just said, you know what, that's it. I'm out of here, and I wound up going to Catalina myself anyway. And I'm walking around, I'm kind of depressed and everything about the whole situation, and some girl kind of sees what's going on and invites me to go party with her and some of her girlfriends. And
perfect.
Let's just say weekend.
But you did. Now, did she call you after that and say, come on, let's get married, come on?
Oh, yeah, and her parents would call me. Of course, she didn't tell her parents. Her dad comes to my job wanting to know what's going on.
So did you tell him? Did you tell him what happened?
Oh, yeah. I told him. He didn't believe me, of course.
Of course.
So... Mm-hmm. But, I'm a firm believer. What comes around goes around. She's leading a pretty dismal life. Just shortly after I left her, she shacked up with some other guy. She had a kid out of wedlock and not doing real well. She's still driving around an old 78 Mustang.
You are a lot better off than she is, I'll tell you that.
1-800-5800-TOM.
From what I gather, you're saying they're sluts if they sleep with you and they're bitches if they don't.
Yes, actually, that comes from the Tom Leykis glossary.
The Tom Leykis Show. On 100.
Send us an email. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Tom at blowmeuptom.com.